Hi everyone, it's Marie here, welcome back to my channel. I'm back today with a process video for Lottie Loves Paper using the These Days collection from Cocoa Vanilla Studios. I am also using a cut file from Peartree Cutfiles called Beach Sign, which was just the absolute perfect kind of combination to use given the photograph that I wanted to scrap. Now I've printed this photograph out quite a while ago and struggled to find papers to match exactly. I find sunset pictures really difficult to scrap, but this ombre paper from Cocoa Vanilla as part of the collection is perfect. So we went up to Scotland earlier in the summer holidays, up to a family cottage that we have up there, and there's a statue of an otter nearby. And it's somewhere we visit every single time we go. And I've got photographs of my son growing up kind of next to this otter. My husband we've got photographs of us two there before we had Elliot as well. And it's just one of those things, you have to go to the otter and you have to take a photograph, which we did. It just so happened that it was sunset and we got these beautiful sort of silhouette pictures against the gorgeous sunset sky. So I was kind of searching around for a colour of paper that would match this sunset. I didn't want to do the photographing. I like doing a lot of my photographs in black and white. I didn't want to do it in black and white. I really wanted to do it in colour. So just struggled a little, but then when I saw this ombre paper, absolutely perfect. So I decided that I would use the ombre paper for the word beach. Because the beach, although you can't quite see the beach in the photograph, it's right next to the beach. It's on where the otter is on a cliff top, and you can see the beach and the sea, and obviously it was just beautiful. And I wanted to create the beach sign with a wood grain paper, but I wanted those kind of peachy, pinky tones there from that sunset. So I knew that by using this paper I could do that. So I love the way that the little sign turned out. You've just seen me use the pieces, the whole letter pieces there inside the cut file to line up the middle of the A and the middle of the B as well. And that works really well if you're struggling to get them in the right place. Just pop the letter in there and use that as a guide. Because the photograph I've used has got that silhouette on there, I wanted to use some of the foam title words as well from the collection. So I've pulled off memories there, which I think works really well. And I'm just faffing about here, debating what to do for the rest of the page. I knew exactly what I was going to do for the cut file. I knew exactly what I was going to do with the photograph and stuff. I just couldn't quite work out what to do with the rest. So I've torn another bit of the wood grain paper and I'm going to use it like a little bit of a shelf at the bottom of the page. So the sign isn't going to hang from anything, but I'm going to have sort of this shelf idea at the bottom. And the photograph's kind of going to sit on it and the sign just above, basically in the places where you can see them, where they currently are. And now I'm just going to play around with what else to add. I don't want to overpower the layout. I don't want too much wood on there, which is why I wanted that lovely white background. I really want the photograph to pop. So I've decided to use lots of the flowers from the collection, the floral ephemera from the collection, to really accentuate those colours, soften it up a little bit, and just stick to those sunsetty colours within the photograph. So I've used a little bit of, I was going to go with a black and white paper, but in the end I just go with some more of that ombre paper. I think I use a piece from the 6x8 paper pad so I can get those same colours. And now I'm going through my ephemera box and picking out all the bits that sort of match in colour. So I want a little cluster at that top left. I want a little cluster above the photograph where the photograph meets the sign. And then I'd like a little cluster as well, just at sort of in the middle at the bottom, coming away from the photograph and down onto that sort of shelf idea. So just picking out the bits from the collection that are the right colours, those right peachy orangey tones again. I've done a few layouts now with this sort of peachy orangey colour scheme. I really like it. I think the collection seems to be quite centred around those colours and they work really well for this sort of sunset picture. So I love the way this is looking, but I decided just to pull out a few more bits of black, a few more pops of black, just to bring everything together really, because obviously there's dark on the photograph, and then I've got that memories on there as well, that foam word. So just to tie that into the rest of the layout to have those extra pops of black on there as well. So I've put some dimensional foam on the back of my photograph to pop that up, and then on the back of my bits of ephemera as well, I am using lots of different bits of foam and bits and pieces. Now, I haven't stuck anything down yet at all, so what I'm going to try and do is just piece by piece stick things down without moving everything all at once. I really don't want to move everything all at once and then have to try and figure out where everything went. So I'm just going to tuck everything sort of back in the right sort of places. By leaving that ephemera in place, I can see where I'd sort of started from and where I was going. So now just pop some double-sided sticky on the back of the photograph, and now bits of glue on some of the florals. So some of the florals are getting glue, some of them are getting foam, just to give those extra levels of dimension. I have just accidentally ripped the cut file getting the letters off there, but just stuck the bit down that broke. It's not a problem, you can't see it in the end. I just want to move memories across. It doesn't seem to be in quite the right place. It's almost in the right place, but just not quite. So just want to move it across ever so slightly, so it's more central and closer to the photograph. And now I can press it down properly and make sure it's stuck. So again, bits of foam on the flowers, just tucking everything in. I just love tucking bits and pieces in like this. My favourite part. So just sticking everything down, making sure that the best way to test and see if you've stuck everything down is just to stand your layout up on edge. And if anything falls off, it wasn't stuck on, or it wasn't stuck on properly. And you can go back and stick everything back on, the shake test. So just pop this last cluster together up at the top. There's little black foamy bits of foliage, just adding those little pops of colour. I'm just playing around with the positioning, making sure I'm really happy with where everything's going. And I've decided I want one on the photograph as well, just at that corner. So puffy sticker time. A couple of little words I think that I pop onto the photograph from the puffy stickers. A few more of those little hearts. I love those little hearts. I've said it before, I just wish there was a whole sheet of those little hearts. And some clear stickers as well. A few more hearts. Keep moving everything around until you're happy with the positioning. That's those little, they're the clear stickers that look like watercolour. Just tucked in behind the photograph, give a bit more colour to the page. And then another leaf up there. And I'm just going to make sure I've positioned that sticker down properly. It was kind of folded over one of the flowers and I wasn't quite happy with how it was looking. It needed to move. So that got moved a little bit. Clear sticker here with some foliage on, just moving that heart across. I will get that stuck down properly. There we go, tucked under the flower now. I didn't think it would bother me and it did, so I had to go back and fix that. So just checking through now the last few bits of ephemera. Do I want any more words on here? I think I do find one actually that I want to just pop down there next to that little flower cluster, and I take those puffy sticker ones off the photograph so that I can focus on the ones that I'm going to put underneath the photo on that little wooden strip at the bottom. Just checking through those word stickers. I did want a collection of 3. I like to do things in 3s, so just wanted another one down there as well. I was going to put it on the photo, but it was kind of at the wrong angle, so I wanted to move that around. And just another little flower to pop in here. Cut that one in half so that I can tuck it in. And then another one around the side of the photograph as well, just to really frame everything in those florals. They're so pretty. And then the last thing is I'm going to put some, I say the last thing, it's not the last thing. Another thing, I'm going to put some Peartree pieces on here. These are little metallic and glitter hearts, felt hearts. So I'm just going to stick some of those down, just a few. They add a little bit of sparkle. It's a kind of subtle sparkle, just to tuck in. That looks really pretty. I'm really happy with how that's looking. I love the way the clusters have come together. I think they're looking spot on. So I'm just going to get some thread twiddles now and just pop a couple of those in. One above here as well, tucked in behind those flowers, and then one probably at the top. Yeah, just popping that in at the top of the photograph as well. And then a few sequins. I can't leave a layout without putting some sequins on. You need a bit of sparkle. They're just tiny little pops of colour, little pops of sparkle, little pops of detail that just really finish a page off. And sometimes I can sit there and think, oh, my page it's not finished, I'm not quite happy with it. And just by adding a few little bits of sparkle, a few little pieces of sequins, I can suddenly go from, oh, not quite sure, to, yes, I absolutely love it. Just by adding those few bits. So if that's something that you ever feel, give that a try. Just some little bits of anything. It doesn't have to necessarily be sequins. Little paint splatters also work as well. And I'm really happy with how that's looking. Really pleased with how it's come together. Just making sure everything's stuck. And I think I didn't quite know how it was going to turn out when I started, but I'm really happy with how it's turned out. So I'm just going to get some iridescent paint now, a really light coloured gold, and just do a few splatters all over to add another little layer of sparkle. I could have done some splatters in black, that would have also worked. But I decided to go for gold on this one. And that's it, that's my layout finished. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope my layout inspires you to create something as well. The These Days collection can be purchased now in the Lottie Loves Paper store, and I will leave the link in the description box below. So thank you ever so much for joining me. A few more close-ups on the way, and I will see you in the next one.